How are you?
Doing all right.
Good, man. Good. Have a seat, sir.
Hey, I'm not gonna do this interview. You don't want to do it? No, because it's gonna be an Aspinall fest. I'm not doing it. I see how close you guys are, and common sense tells me what type of questions I was going to get asked. So I'm just like, give me something to speak to you want to speak. Thank you.
Jon Jones recently rushed out of an interview in rage after learning that the host was a friend of Tom Aspinall. Jon Jones' hatred for Tom Aspinall is more pronounced than ever. His quick resignation from the interview, caused purely by the host's acquaintance with Aspinall, demonstrates how deep the tension runs. However, Jon Jones described Tom Aspinall as unpleasant and stated that he does not care for him, despite the fact that fans adore the drama. He made it obvious that if they fight, he expects a large payout. Jones stated he's happy without the match, but Aspinall requires it, putting him in command.
He's annoying to me. He's annoying to me. And that's my own personal, he annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying. And I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that you money, honestly. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Or else, my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all, and he needs me. And that's a good place to be in a negotiation.
On the other end, Tom Aspinall provided his honest opinion on Jon Jones, stating that while Jones is one of the all-time greats, he cannot name him the best. He cited failed drug tests as a deal-breaker, calling the usage of performance enhancers cheating, especially if the opponent is competing clean.
Is he the greatest?
Potentially, but the way that I look at it, he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. If you're on steroids or whatever, I don't think he was on steroids, but he was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. If you're on PEDs and your opponent isn't, that's absolutely.
Cheating things heated up when Jon Jones dismissed Tom Aspinall as a legitimate threat, citing his lack of notable victories over former champions. Aspinall responded, claiming Jones was evading the fight to protect his legacy. The exchange merely fueled an already heated rivalry.
And of course, it's been pretty interesting, all the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week, and I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions, and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion, and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me is no different than an Owen St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith. You're like just another up and comer that's exciting right now. And I'm not into gambling my legacy for what's exciting.
And Jon, if you're not into gambling your legacy, that to me sounds like you're scared of losing against.
However, during a recent interview, Jon Jones lost his cool and walked out after learning that the host was a buddy of Tom Aspinall. The event demonstrated how personal the dispute had grown. His reaction drew attention, adding to the already heated competition between the two heavyweights.
Going well. You okay? Going well.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good, man. Good. Have a seat, sir.
Are you guys in with it? Hey, I'm not gonna do this interview. You don't want to do it? No, because it's gonna be an Aspinall fest. I'm not doing it. Let's go.
Watch out. Every time I feel
I see how close you guys are, and common sense tells me what type of questions I was going to get asked. So I'm just like, give me something to speak to you want to speak. Thank you. Go. Take it.
Tom Aspinall even accused Jon Jones of avoiding the bout due to fear. The claim fueled their hatred and left fans wondering if the showdown would ever happen.
Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes. Jon is conning the public. The fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year.
Is that fight happening?
The UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit. I think he's one of the best fighters ever. Definitely top 3. That's debatable when you start putting in about drug tests and stuff like that, I think.
Damn. What drug are you talking about specifically?
Yeah.
Jon Jones disputed claims that he avoided Tom Aspinall, calling the tale false. He praised Aspinall's size, youth, and rising momentum, but questioned the worth of defeating him, likening it to his victory over Sergey Gain. which was significant in the moment but useless for his legacy. Jones also maintained that no actual negotiations for a fight had taken place, and he categorically denied avoiding Aspinall.
I get that Tom is an exciting fighter. I get that finally, after 16 years, we found somebody who's 7 years younger than me and 30 pounds bigger than me. Like, we finally found someone who may give me a great challenge. And everyone wants to see it so bad. But for me, it's like, what is it? What's in it for me? He changes nothing if I beat him. Beating Tom is just like beating Cyril Gane. Has a whole country behind him. He's hot right now. What happens to me after I beat him? Nothing changes for me. So I'm not ducking Tom Aspinall. Tom narrative came out of nowhere. He won a belt, and now suddenly I'm ducking him. I've never had negotiations to even fight him, if this makes sense.
While some suggest Jon Jones is avoiding Tom Aspinall, others disagree, with Rampage Jackson recently praising Jon Jones and claiming that no one on the earth can beat him. He explained that despite his best efforts, he was unable to defeat Jones. While Rampage regards Tom Aspinall as a solid fighter, he believes Aspinall is probably the second best, but does not consider him as a serious threat to Jones. He noted, hearing Jones wants to take 6 months before confronting Aspinall, and he believes Jones is taking the time to study and break him down. Rampage lauded Jones as a highly cerebral fighter, even calling him the Neo of MMA.
You fought Jon Jones back in the day. People are
Why you only bringing up my losses?
People are all talking about Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. How do you see that fight going? You got Tom or you got Jon?
Man, I don't think there's nobody on this planet that could beat Jon Jones, because I was in there with him. I was at my best, and I've never lost a fight at my best until Jon Jones. And, you know, no disrespect to Tom Aspinall, but he a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's probably second best out there, but I don't see him.
You think Jon Jones finishes him?
I think Jon Jones is just a real smart fighter. I heard something like he want to take 6 months before he fight Aspinall. I think it's because he want to study him. He want to break him down, you know. Right. Jon Jones ain't no fool. He's probably one of the smartest fighters out there. I say he like Neo. He's Neo of MMA.
On the other hand, Colby Covington has harshly criticized Jon Jones, accusing him of avoiding a battle with Tom Aspinall. Covington contends that Jones' reluctance to meet Aspinall harms his legacy and calls into question his claim to be the greatest of all time. He also made disparaging remarks about Jones's character, calling him a coward and pointing out his off-color. False.
I know he has to get that win, but do you think Tom Aspinall's the guy to beat Jon Jones?
For sure. John's scared of him. He's ducking him, man. He don't want to fight. That's why he's like, oh, I'll vacate the title. I'll fight the number 10 guy. Fucking scared. Why do people think Jon Jones is the GOAT? He literally destroyed his legacy by ducking Tom Aspinall. The guy's a coward, and he's a woman beater. He beat his Jon Jones.
Dude, Jon Jones is an absolute disgrace to this earth. He's a joke. I mean, yeah, you beat Stipe. Respect to Stipe first off, because he's a first responder, and you know, he puts his life on the line for the people and for his community. So shout out to Stipe. He's, you know, the greatest heavyweight of all time, but he was past his time. He shouldn't even have been there, man. He knows he was old and he was just showing up for a paycheck. You know, that's not the Stipe of old, you know, that was in his prime anymore. So, you know, I don't think anything special that performance. I think Jon needs to stop ducking Tom Aspinall, just like he ducked Ngannou. You know, he ducked Ngannou for years. Now he's ducking Aspinall. So he doesn't want to fight the guys he knows he's getting his hands. So I don't think anything special.
However, Daniel Cormier has declared unequivocally that Jon Jones is not afraid of Tom Aspinall or any other fighter, fully dismissing the concept. Cormier believes Jones is playing a strategic game, prioritizing his legacy over avoiding obstacles. He said that, while most boxers eventually transmit the torch, Jones may take a different route. However, he said that even a hazardous bout with Aspinall would not jeopardize Jones' legacy, given what he has already accomplished.
Jon Jones isn't afraid of Tom Aspinall. I wish people would stop saying that. He is not afraid of that guy. He's not afraid of anyone. He's not afraid to fight this guy. He's not. I think he's trying to be more strategic. I think he's trying to make sure his legacy stands. I don't know how it could ever be faded. I mean, we do have short memories, but could you ever forget what he did? I don't think him fighting Tom Aspinall with the potential that he would lose is a bad thing. but as most would expect him to win the fight. But at the end of the day, the old guard has to get passed through for the new guard to go, unless you don't play the sport by the way that everyone else does it. Everyone else does it that way. Maybe Jones will be different.
Cormier also expressed his own perspective, stating that he does not want anyone to make their legacy by defeating him. Using Jon Jones as an example, he described how Jones climbed to notoriety by defeating legends such as Shogun and Rampage, eventually becoming a legend himself in just a few years. Cormier likened it to Michael Jordan defeating dominating teams, like the Pistons and Celtics before reaching greatness. He emphasized that in athletics, the younger generation must first overcome the old stars in order to gain a place.
I'm not here to run the risk of someone making a name off of me. Shogun had to fight Jon Jones back in the day. Rampage had to fight Jon Jones back in the day. Those guys were big names that fought him as the young guy that was the champion. And he made a name off of all those legends, so that by the time I got to him, he was a legend. He was a legend. Already in 2016, 15, he was already a legend in 5 years. But that was only because he had beaten all those great guys before. It really is the tale of sport, right? The tale of entertainment. Before Michael Jordan could become Michael Jordan, he had to go through the Detroit Pistons, who were winning in the 80s. He had to beat the Boston Celtics to get to the finals, who were going back and forth with the Lakers. The old guard
Frank Mir had similar sentiments, defending Jon Jones against accusations of avoiding the fight, claiming that Jones has earned the right to be selective after battling the greatest during his career. Mir noted how fans frequently overlooked Jon's superiority. While Mir acknowledged Aspinall's speed and hitting ability as big threats, he remained confident that Jones would win if he could close the distance and fight physically.
I think Aspinall's a phenomenal heavyweight. I think he's going to be there for a while. With Jon, it's hard for me to tell people. The guy has earned so much. I feel like sometimes people have such a short memory in our sport. The guy has been one of the most dominant fighters of all time. If he wants to pick and choose who he fights, at a certain point, he kind of earned the right to. But, he faced criticism, I guess, from other people. But as far as what settles in my stomach, well, I get it. Because look how people are short memory with him right now. Oh, he's not the GOAT and he's dodging Tom. Like, man, this guy fought everybody. I don't count him out in a fight with Aspinall. I've trained with Jon. I know how he feels when he grabs a hold of you. I think Tom's hands could really be the X factor if we can catch him or not. Tom's striking is more powerful than a lot of the people and speed-wise in Jon's face. If Jon grabs him, though, I'm betting on Jon.
However, Tom Aspinall expressed his final remarks, stating that Jon Jones now has no choice than to fight him or retire. Aspinall stated that if Jones chooses retirement, it will be evident that he is avoiding the battle. He acknowledged his enthusiasm to compete, whether against Jones or anyone else, and stated that he is only waiting for the fight date. Aspinall also said that UFC officials confirmed the matchup, stressing that he is not chasing Jones but wants to fight him because Jones possesses the heavyweight belt. If Jones steps down, Aspinall is prepared to face whoever comes next.
Chasing, it's not the reason I want to fight Jon Jones is because he's got the belt. Nothing else. Like, if Jon Jones doesn't have the belt, I'm not bothered about fighting.
You'd be doing the same if it was Stipe.
I'd be doing the same if it was anybody. What I'm after is being known as the #1 heavyweight walking around the planet Earth right now. And the belt solidifies that for me, the undisputed belt.
Yeah.
Granted, I've got the interim belt. I've defended it. To me, that's not Jon Jones. Get out of the way. I'll take the title. I'll fight someone else. Happy days.
When do you want it?
ASAP.
Coach Eric Nixick believes Tom Aspinall's hand quickness may offer him an advantage against Jon Jones, but emphasizes Jones' ability to manage his opponent's hands, as seen in his battle against Stipe Miocic. In that fight, Jones turned to southpaw and neutralized Miocic's jab, leaving him with only his cross, which Jones timed well. Nix described a talk he had with Aspinall about avoiding the B range and not letting Jones take over. He underlined that Aspinall will need to be aggressive at these periods to ensure Jones does not dictate the tempo or rhythm of the bout.
What advantages do you see that he has over Jon Bones Jones?
I think hand speed.
I think hand speed. But what Jon does very well, and what we saw in the Stipe fight, is Jon will occupy your hands. So Stipe's one of his best weapons was always his jab. So you saw Jon switch to southpaw, lead hand occupy, which left Stipe with one punch, which was a cross. So he was timing the cross to pull off and then was adding on. So I think when you break that fight down, I actually talked to Tom on Monday. We were kind of going back and forth a little bit on some of the game planning things. You can't be in that B range and just kind of get snake charmed by Jon. Let him grab your hands, let him dictate the pace, let him dictate the rhythm. You have to be hyper aggressive in those positions, and I think that's what Tom would have to do in that.
Stipe Miocic advised Tom Aspinall not to let Jon Jones dictate the pace of the fight, emphasizing that this rule applies to all opponents, not only Jones. Miocic stated that allowing someone else to take control is a major mistake that typically leads in a loss.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think also, too, is that you just don't let them dictate what you want. So there's any fighter, not just Jon Jones, any fight, don't let them dictate what they want to do. Because if you let them do what they want, that's the end of the road for you. You're fucked.
Miocic also named Jon Jones as one of the all-time greats, praising his clever tactics and surprising approach. He advised Aspinall not to repeat the mistakes he did during their battle, such as absorbing dangerous shots like a liver strike. Miocic commended Aspinall's durability, power, quickness, and tranquility, stating that with full attention, he has a strong chance of winning.
Well, Francis, yeah, he's got great power. He's getting better every fight. With Jones, he's as good as one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. He's just smart, real tricky, and
get booked with him and Jon Jones. What's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough, and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm on the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He picks his shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Dricus Du Plessis praised Aspinall's passion and determination, but said that Jones is likely nearing the conclusion of his remarkable career. He expressed optimism that Jones leaves with a flawless record and that Aspinall will continue on the heritage. Nonetheless, Du Plessis was quick to point out that Jones has a tendency of taking down even the toughest opponents with ease, cementing his status among the sport's elite.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But Jon Jones being the warrior that he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and you go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is the greatest of all time.
According to Paddy Pimblett, Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall must face off. While he supports Aspinall and wants him to win, he admits Jones' tremendous combat IQ and strategic abilities make it difficult to bet against him.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
Francis and Ngannou believe Aspinall needs this fight to truly establish himself at the top level. While Jones stands to benefit monetarily, he also stated that Aspinall's grappling ability and wrestling background make him a far more tough opponent.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall respond to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. He can do whatever.
Eddie Hall expressed a strong opinion that Tom Aspinall would defeat Jon Jones if they ever met in the cage. While Hall acknowledged Jones' legendary standing in MMA, he believed that Aspinall's skill, quickness, and potential would give him an advantage.
Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is the UFC's #1 right now. Jon Jones is, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive
for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think, and I think Jon Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking Tom Aspinall.
He also called out Jones for apparently dodging the fight, suggesting that the hesitation shows fear. Paul emphasized that what a fighter does matters more than what they say and stood firm in his view that Aspinall would come out on top if the two ever faced off in the octagon.
I mean, he can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So, there we go. Anyway, the answer to that question is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is kicking Jon Jones.
That's all for today's video. So, what are your feelings about this? Please share your ideas in the comments box. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and like it. Also, look at our other videos on the screen to the right.